It is now being reported that Peter Thiel, the tech billionaire and co-founder of Palantir, is relocating to Argentina, citing concerns about the U.S. future and shared ideology with leadership, per the New York Times. The same Peter Thiel who has given millions of dollars to Donald Trump and MAGA-aligned candidates and causes around the nation, including J.D. Vance and other far-right extremists. But because he has the money to protect himself and his future, he's now moving to Buenos Aires and buying luxury properties there because he's worried about the future of the United States of America. So it is now being reported that Peter
Peter Thiel is not moving to Argentina because he's afraid of where America's headed. That's the story you're being sold, and it's completely backwards. He has run this play before. A few years ago, he funded an entire private city in Honduras and then sued the entire city, which we'll get to that in a second. But come on, this is not new for him. Think about it. His protege is the vice president. His company basically runs on government contracts. The man is winning. You don't flee a country when you're holding all the cards. Oh, and don't you dare start with me on this is about the California taxes. He doesn't want to pay California taxes. Grow up. If you don't want to pay California taxes, you move to Florida. You move to Texas. You don't uproot your entire family and chase down a second passport because you want to, flee a state income tax? So in my opinion, the question is, what does Argentina offer him that America doesn't? Or at least not yet. Here's the thing. President Milei is tearing apart his own country on purpose. He's gutting agencies. He's regulations. He is shrinking the state every single day. And Thiel has said for years that he thinks a democracy is inefficient, that the country should be run like a company by tech elites. But he can't do that here, okay? Our institutions push back. At least they do for now. But down there, the president is already clearing ground for him. Okay, so back to Honduras. Peter Thiel in 2017 funded an entire private city called Prospera. It has its own laws, its own court system, its own tax system. It's basically a country inside a country. And when Honduras looked at Prospera and said, I don't know if that's healthy for our country, and tried to shut it down, Peter Thiel hit him with a $10 billion lawsuit. And this tells you exactly how much he cares about this country. America was never his home. It was his platform. Men like him don't have a home. They collect them. They collect mansions, passports, jurisdictions, all so that not one single nation's rules have to apply to them. Meanwhile, the rest of us are governed by our country. So no, he's not running from America. He is no man of America. He's building the thing that comes after democracy, and he's building it in the place where it's already falling apart. And he's making himself a citizen so that no one can touch him. That's the real story. That's the story that they're not going to tell you. Peter
Thiel. For those who don't know, Peter Thiel is somewhat of a big deal in the tech world, in the financial world. He's a technocrat, a power broker. Peter Thiel is pretty much a venture capitalist that is behind a lot of different ventures. You got PayPal, that's Peter Thiel, y'all. Of course, Planeteer. You got, Peter Thiel, he's all over the place. He's not just like an average millionaire. This man's a billionaire. He's pretty much behind a lot of different initiatives. Peter Thiel, he's involved in military technology and intelligence, law enforcement and government agencies. He oversees large amounts of data. So right now it's going pretty much viral that Peter Thiel just dipped out and pretty much fled America, saying that he's worried about what's going to happen in America. And a lot of people are shocked. Half of the internet is torn about it, thinking that, hey, this is just another power move, because he's a millionaire trying to avoid taxes or avoid something. I don't know what they're thinking. But honestly, my opinion is that Peter Thiel knows something is about to go wrong in America. So he might have had some type of breach of conscience and decided to make it public. And you know, or maybe he believes in karmatic debt, just like the other Satanists and Luciferians, and he's putting it out there that, hey, it's about to go left in America. You know, he's going to go ahead and take himself elsewhere and set up shop, you know, because, you know, from what this lady is saying, democracy is stopping a complete AI takeover. No, it's not. Right now, they got rules and regulations on the books right now that are basically targeting people who speak against data centers, who speak against AI. So, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But as y'all enter, make sure y'all get the likes up. Y'all know how we do, man. We're going to give y'all nothing but the truth. And there's a lot of things that we got to discuss and cover. Of course, we got these data centers. You got Trump talking about he got some drug that can bring people back from the dead. You got surveillance moving to the next level. Every single day, there's technological advances. But we're going to get to it. Let's go.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love. They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks, but these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Welcome back. Welcome back. Prepared to be informed. I see Soldier in the building. I see Eternal Vision in the house. God's property. We are live and direct. Audacity is in the building. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that share button. Listen. It's big news that Peter Thiel just left America. And people are talking about this because Peter Thiel isn't just some average investor. We're talking about this person is deeply involved in the digital era that you have right now. He's like one of those guys that when you think about it, it's like he's like this mythical character when it comes to the global elitists, of course. You know what I'm saying? You got to think of it like this. When an average millionaire leaves, nobody really notices that, you know. But when one of the architects of this digital era says that they're leaving the United States because he sees something bad coming, then it's only natural people are going to really see, you know, start to talk about it. You know, it's only natural that people are going to take notice of that. So right now, that's some big news. Yep. And people are really talking about this. And I'm going to tell you where we're headed. You know, I'm just going to keep it a buck with you where we're headed from a very realistic standpoint.
Being reported that Peter Thiel, the tech billionaire and co-founder of Palantir, is relocating to Argentina, citing concerns about the U.S. future and shared.
Hold on now. What happened? Look like we're frozen. All right. Look like we had some technical issues, y'all. Can y'all hear me? I don't know what just happened here. Look like we're having some issues. By show of ones, y'all back. I don't know what happened. My computer just glitched out on me. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm back. It just glitched out on me on my end. So, all right, we good to go? All right. All right, let's get into it. I don't know what happened, but let's go.
With leadership, per the New York Times. The same Peter Thiel who has given millions of dollars to Donald Trump and MAGA-aligned candidates and causes around the nation, including J.D. Vance and other far-right extremists. But because he has the money to protect himself and his future, he's now moving to Buenos Aires and buying luxury properties there because he's worried about the future of the United States of America. So it is now being reported that Peter Thiel...
Now, we got to talk about what some of his concerns may actually be. And there's other issues going on that we're going to address, but I'm going to talk about some of the issues that Peter Thiel may be having right now. Because right now they're creating a whole new world. AI regulation is becoming the norm.
36 hours ago, the White House officially released their AI legislation framework. And after reading through it, I have to tell you something. You're not in it. This framework is calling Congress to create a single AI law that would override every state regulation in the country. The goal of it, and I quote, light touch regulation, which translates to let companies move fast and don't slow them down. It covers everything from child safety, intellectual property, free speech, and innovation. This is exactly what happened with the internet in the 90s, with the Telecommunications Act of 1996, and more specifically essentially the 26 words in Section 230, which in a way created the internet by enabling companies to do the same as we're seeing right now. My friends, the government's job is not to save your career. It's to set the rules of the game. The rules they just wrote are designed for two winners: the companies building AI and anyone working alongside it. Now, you can either sit down, protest, and cry about it, or you can start embracing it and working alongside it. At the end of the day, the decision you make today will determine your future. Now, enough of my talking. If you want the official report, just
now is the time where everyone got to move wisely. You know, this AI thing is going to take off. Now it's time for certain brothers and sisters out there to know how to use it to your advantage. That's right. That's probably not a direction that a lot of people expected me to go. However, listen, we are not so religious on this platform that we are no earthly good. We understand that this is the wave, this is the future. Now we got to find out how we can come out on top. All right? Because they already got the script in place, right? Now I want to read a scripture here. And this is important. And the scripture I want to go to is in Romans 8:38, and it reads, "For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers shall be able to separate us from the Lord our God." Listen, no matter what they got going on, no matter what type of distractions, no matter what type of frequencies, data centers, fear tactics that they try to use, nothing is going to separate us from the presence of the Most High. Nothing. Now, that's something that we got to keep in mind. Some of y'all going to be going to school, learning different things. Some of your children are going to get involved in learning AI, learning the data. Listen, the whole idea right now is learning how to move different. Learning how to move different. And I'm going to tell you like this, there's going to be a lot of billionaires and millionaires made off of AI. Yeah. There's going to be people who are going to benefit. Like they're talking about putting tokenizations on oil. Look, if you know how to get involved in and what to actually put your money in, like you can come out on top. So look, don't think that I'm on here just trying to push fear or anything like that. No, it's time for us to dig. It's time for us to dig. Listen, when the Most High say that we're going to leave this system with great substance, man, I think we're going to be getting it in so many ways. Why? Because we're chosen by the Most High. We are geniuses. We're the neurodivergent beings. We are the ones who are going to learn how to capitalize, monetize, and thrive off of everything that is meant to destroy us. That's what we do. We evolve, we adapt. And I'm not telling you that the AI is just going to take everybody out and it's going to be over. What I am saying is in up and coming years, you got to play the game and play it smart. You know what I'm saying? You got to play the game and play it smart. They automating everything. A lot of jobs that you see, them joints is going to be gone, y'all. Life as you know it is going to change. Either you're going to evolve or you're going to drown. That's just what it is. Nothing will be the same anymore. What used to work 5-10 years ago does not work anymore. Just like right now, we're up. Somebody asked about the love notes. Yep, and we are definitely taking up. Okay, no, that's Zah. What's up, Zah? He says that is why we got the love note. The upgrade is next level. Exactly. Because we're not going to sit around here just wallowing in fear when we know the Most High is calling us to adapt. He's calling us to adapt. And the new love note system is going to be something else, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Get on NubreedGlobalTruth.com. We got our love notes for a reason. We're ahead of the curve. Trust and believe that. Daughters in Power, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Says God will supply all our needs according to his riches and glory. That's right. But of course, we're going to move accordingly. we're going to move accordingly because we got to push through some of these regulations because things are changing.
Anti-tech extremists. If you talk about data centers online or you photograph them in person, you may be tracked down. You may be categorized as an anti-tech extremist. This investigative report, published by Wired and detailed by the journalist Daniel Boguslaw, has exposed an expansive multi-agency operation to try to identify anti-data center posting and radical extremists. They've just created a new term for this that exists in no other laws. The reporting is based on 1,000 pages of internal, unpublished law enforcement documents obtained via the Freedom of Information Act. The Department of Homeland Security and FBI and regional state-level fusion centers have formally built and deployed a sweeping novel classification system to identify people who are talking about data centers. Local fusion centers have expanded their monitoring to watch over local town halls where residents are gathering, of course, to oppose these data centers. And they're going until 3 a.m. And then the local town halls pass this regardless of the outcry by the public. The federal apparatus is even contracting for-profit open source intelligence groups like Site Intelligence Group to actively scour social media and categorize people who may be talking negatively about data centers. So if you are posting information about data centers, you may be flagged as an extremist. That's why I love data centers. I told you in this video how much I love data centers, and I have more videos on how much I love data centers coming for you guys.
Yep, this is real. They're warning of anti-tech extremists as AI hatred grows. And this is because, of course, a lot of people are just completely bewildered at the fact that AI, or these data centers rather, seem to be pretty much destroying water supply in various places, various towns and cities. So people have naturally going to have an issue with that. But, you know, the truth of the matter is we don't know if those actual data centers are what they say they are. We just don't know if they are what they say they are. Those data centers can be anything. This is a thought that I had today. I'm like, man, them data centers can be more than just something that helps ChatGPT or OpenAI. Maybe there's some type of fusion centers. Maybe it's something deeper to it. You know what I'm saying? However, yeah, these rules are being put on the table. Why? Because they're trying to create a society where they can govern people who can see and speak out against the complete takeover. But, you know, like I said, you just got to do as the Bible says, maneuver wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. That's what the scriptures tell us. Proverbs 22:3 says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And wisdom involves paying attention. Not every warning is fear-mongering. Some warnings are just prudence. So we got to have our discernment up. We got to have our discernment up. Straight up.
There's something not right here. I think they're lying to us about why we need to be building all of these AI data centers.
I'm here in Mansfield, Georgia, driving by Meta's new 2 million square foot data center facility.
2 million.
Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT and other AI tools that are becoming integrated into our daily life.
They're saying that that's what it's being used for, but I'm not sure because there's not that much need. It's like it doesn't take that much power.
That's what I told you.
Right? It's got to be some kind of surveillance thing.
I'm telling
it's
you.
It's not to power ChatGPT.
Block C, cell A24,
Yeah.
maybe like 2 million square feet.
We have 10x probably around there in terms of the number of data centers and the capacity, quote unquote, of compute compared to other countries. So I do think it's weird. They keep saying we need like more data centers. We already have a shitload of data centers. They literally want the power to know what each individual is doing at any given time. So maybe it's not a physical jail that you go in, like cell 8C or whatever, but it's like they want the power to be able to monitor everybody at any given time.
Right, because what's happening? More and more people are going against Israel.
Speaking of Israel, I don't know if y'all heard this, but they're now talking about, and this is Congress when I say they're talking about integrating American military forces with Israeli military forces. Yeah. Yep. That's actually a thing. You know, I had to fact check that, but it's really going down like that. That America and Israel seem to be merging with military forces. So, you know, we were wondering why Congress wasn't saying anything about Trump fighting on behalf of Israel. We was wondering why Congress not doing anything. Hey, it seemed like they were all on the same page. That's why I tell you, Trump is just a puppet. Trump is just a puppet. Trump is nothing, y'all. Like when I say Trump is nothing, he's nothing. He's just a talking head. Up top, you got Satan, then you got Moloch, then you got Baal, then you got the Rothschilds, you got the Rockefellers, you got BlackRock, you got these various different organizations, and then they just pretty much control all the media. They are the tentacles of the media, and it just goes down from there. Trump is he's literally an actor. But clearly Congress agreed on this war. Just for Congress to be having that discussion, they show you they agreed on the war the whole time, making us believe that everything is separate. Listen, they all together, y'all. Left wing, right wing, Congress, all of it is all one, man. And they all on one accord to push the new world order. Straight up. Straight up.
Please pay attention to this, folks. The pro-Israel forces in Congress are trying to merge the U.S. and Israeli militaries. I'm not kidding. Yes, while the American public is against sending billions of dollars to Israel, Israel and its supporters in Washington have found a new, far more insidious way to deepen U.S. support for the Israeli military. They're shifting away from that unpopular aid to military integration. Tucked inside the National Defense Authorization Act, which is the massive annual bill that funds and sets policies for the Pentagon, is something called Section 224, the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. It sounds harmless, but it's not. This provision would dramatically expand military integration between the United States and Israel, going far beyond the $200 billion in military aid the U.S. has already provided since 1948. Here's all the things it would promote: joint weapons development, co-production, technology sharing, AI cooperation, cyber operations, autonomous weapon systems, biotechnology, quantum computing, and even network integration and data fusion. At a time when Israel is continuing its rampage in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, and has pushed the U.S. into this disastrous war in Iran, Congress is proposing to bind our military even closer to Israel's. That's right. Section 224 would move the Israeli relationship away from the little public scrutiny there is in Congress into the opaque world of military contracts and weapons purchases. It would make it harder for Congress and us, the public, to hold anyone accountable. That's why we need to let Congress know we are watching, and they must reject Section 224, and more important, cut ties to the Israeli military altogether. No joint weapons projects, no intelligence fusion, no military-industrial merger. None. Please pay attention to this.
Man, listen, this was the plan the entire time. This was the plan the entire time. You know, the Bible tells us in Matthew 24, verse 4, take heed that no man deceive you. You know, Trump is a deceiver. Those who control the media, deceivers. It's all about deception. And, you know, we're at the point in time where America is on one accord with every other country that is ready for the new world order. Trump is a puppet. Trump is one huge puppet. Everybody's in on it. East Coast Kev, thank you for the support. Says, I've said it a million times. Left wing, right wing are all the same white supremacist bird. They are all friends. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. Exactly. Exactly. And now it should be picture, you know, it should be crystal clear. what they got going on. It should be crystal clear at this moment. Matter of fact, you know, this woman spoke a little bit about some of the AI integration that they're going to have along with weapons integration. Like they've already started some of the patents of integration that they're going to start, and they're working with Apple first.
The Apple iPhone 17e is an entry-level smartphone featuring the A19 chip, full Apple Intelligence support, and the newly developed C1X cellular modem. Its release generated significant discussion in Israel due to local involvement in the device's technology and recent corporate developments. So, in other words, Apple is releasing...
In recent corporate developments, the Apple iPhone 17e is going to have intelligence support that is basically a merger between United States Central Intelligence and Israeli Central Intelligence. They already are working together doing these things on a technological front. They're already doing it. So when people say to the United States of Israel, you might as well say it, y'all. It is what it is. Israel and America one and the same at this point. It is what it is. And, you know, hey, listen, I'm not going to go too deep into those people over there. I'm not going to talk too much about them. But what I will say is, hey, listen, they got their day coming. You know, they got their day coming. All of the white supremacists got their day coming, especially ones that steal people's identity and steal people's land and pillage and destroy and cannibalize and mutilate. Yeah, they definitely got their day coming. But anyway, let's go.
Seeing the new iPhone with the Israeli chip put within it. So Israel is essentially helping with our technology now. They're going to have surveillance within our iPhones. I think the integration of global technology, state surveillance, and foreign policy creates such a deeply complex web of dependencies that literally directly impacts individual privacy and national sovereignty. I find it so fucking odd that Apple and most of Western technology is developing their technology with Israeli chips and technology and surveillance.
That's right, because, hey, listen, they're all together. That's what it is. And you know what them scriptures tell us? The scriptures tell us in Ephesians 5:11, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And this is why we calling it out, because as believers, we're supposed to expose their wrongdoings. You know, that includes corruption of any institution, government, business, religion, or personal. And at the end of the day, you know, these people are not the moral authority. These people are not somebody, none of these white supremacists are anybody that should be respected. None of these people are moral authority, biblical authority. Listen, let me just tell you, we are the children of the Most High. So-called melanated people spread from North, South, Central America through the Caribbeans, all across the four corners of the earth. We are God's people. And these people are wicked. All of the white supremacists who are out there, you know, seeking to destroy and conquer. Straight up.
Why? Like, I'm so fucking sick of these fucking people. I'm so sick of this bullshit government, man. Why out of every country, even countries that are way more technologically advanced than Israel, China, Japan, Korea, why Israel? Why does the US kiss Israel's ass? What the fuck are they doing for y'all? They don't even do shit for y'all but take, and cause mass genocide with your tax dollars. 95% of the world's problems are because of them. Why do our tax dollars go to them? Why do we allow them to have the right to surveil us and put their ears in our technology? Why does our military fight for them? Why did the US force China to hand over TikTok or they would ban it from their country? And when they bought TikTok, guess who also got the rights to it? Israel. Why does the US ban Chinese technology but not Israeli technology? Now I don't want to get the new iPhone because, bro, I don't want a fucking Mossad agent listening to me. My main issue is, why are we as a major nation allowing a country the size of New Jersey halfway across the world to have a hand in our government? And I know Israel is only the tip of the iceberg, but it's just like, why? Why? Why do we give them this much power? The Apple iPhone 17e is an entry-level smartphone featuring the A...
I'm telling you, this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to. And now with all of this integration, also keep in mind they're trying to tell United States citizens to conserve our water supply because of these data centers. Peep this.
New Jersey is urging the public, us, to conserve more water voluntarily because drought conditions are worsening. And instead of going after big business, country clubs, AI data centers, we have to take shorter showers. We have to use the sinks with shitty water pressure. We have to drink less water because AI data centers need water too. They get thirsty too. Has anybody thought about them? We have been in a drought warning for the past 2 years because our reservoirs are drying up, because we have been receiving below average rainfall for 20 out of the past 24 months. And also, our state is encouraging AI data centers like the one down in Vineland that's expected to use 20 million gallons of water every single year. There's more being proposed all over the state. There's country clubs and golf courses that use millions of gallons of water for no fucking reason. And you have all those ingredients, throw them in a pot, stir it around, and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and Mikey Sherrill are telling us that it's our fault, that we have to use less water because we're less important than corporations. We cannot address this problem by blaming residents and telling us to change our behaviors. The only way out of this is by banning data centers and regulating the ones that already exist. We have proposals coming in Kenilworth, East Greenwich, Andover Township, and we need people to go out and fight them, and we need the legislature to pass actual regulations on water usage for AI data centers because they cannot keep leeching off of our communities. New Jersey is urging the public.
Yeah, it's going to take the citizens really coming together, but that's not really something that's going on right now. And I want to talk about, as believers, what we got to do. As I said earlier on in this broadcast, it's a time to move in wisdom, y'all. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Listen, nowadays, don't just collect information. You got to seek understanding. We living in an age right now where there's like endless headlines, but very little bit of wisdom. Wisdom it really helps us to separate the facts from the manipulation. Right now, in this time, a lot of the news that comes out, like, let me give you an example here. Peter Thiel comes out and gives us a warning. He's fleeing America because something crazy is going to happen. And he is one of the biggest key contributors to the digital era we have right now. Why do you think Peter Thiel did that? It's to push fear. If fear is being pushed, that throws people out of their base, that throws people out of their level of understanding, when really we should be evolving and learning, taking things one day at a time, listening to understand and comprehend. And the way you do that is you got to go through these scriptures. You got to go through these scriptures. You got to pray for discernment. Don't just go with the headline. And this is something that, I try to make it my business to do. When I'm hearing different things happening in the world, I'm not just going with the headline. I'm trying to understand how whatever is happening, how can the Most High's people maneuver through it? And how is this going to benefit us at the end? That's how we got to start thinking as the chosen people. All of it, everything that happens for the greater good of those who love the Most High. That's what you got to keep in mind.
Warning, you are trespassing on private property. Leave immediately. You are being watched and recorded. Law enforcement will be dispatched if you do not leave now. This is your final warning. Leave the area immediately.
Now we're coming into the surveillance state. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And tonight, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take up all y'all's time. So make sure y'all get the likes up. We go chop it up.
For you to understand the level of surveillance that is happening right now, I need you to lock in for a second. I need you to picture a map, okay? Picture Google Maps of your neighborhood. You and everybody, all of your neighbors, you and everybody in your household, everybody you know. Floating over top of your house like Sims, there's a little arrow, and that arrow contains a trust score. Dependent upon what that trust score is, you could be labeled as a domestic terrorist. So what does that number mean? How do they gather that information? And how do you get a good versus bad score? Well, I'll tell you. Here we go. The CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Palantir, of Meta, and two of OpenAI's chief research officers have been sworn on as another branch in the U.S. government called Detachment 201 as lieutenant colonels. Andrew Bosworth, Bob McGrew, Shyam Sankir, and Kevin Wheel. What does Palantir bring to the mix? Why would they hire him on? Let me go over. Law enforcement records, immigration files, travel records, financial transaction metadata, phone metadata, and all.
Now, Palantir, you know, that's Peter Thiel. So this is the things I'm paying attention to right now. So you got all these AI services coming together, including Palantir, and the same guy who's responsible for giving our records over to the AI, essentially, right? I'm talking about law enforcement records, immigration files, travel data, all of that, financial information, all of that. This guy gives our information to all the open AI, and then he flees the country. What the hell is that? He gives all our information over and says, man, look, I don't like what's about to happen in America. I got to get up out of here. I don't even want to see what's going to happen. I don't even want to be present. I don't even want to be present for that. Think about it. That's what really happened with Peter Thiel. Let's go.
Call records, utility usage, license plate reader data, facial recognition, social network graphs built from existing records. What existing records? That's where Meta comes. Meta brings identity data, social graphs, friends, followers, interactions, messages, metadata, behavioral data, like shares, comments, dwell time, scroll speed, content data, and your sleep schedule is in there. Photos, videos, captions, metadata, location data, per site GPS if enabled. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth proximity, IP-based location, off-platform data being tracking pixels. Does Meta infer which way you lean politically? Relationship status, income bracket, shopping intent, health-related interests, emotional states, pregnancy likelihood, relocation intent. And you have the two chief research execs from OpenAI. Facial recognition, any information you've ever given AI. You guys are worried about the TikTok purchase. They already had it. So if you research Detachment 201, the branch in the US government, and then you mosey on over to whitehouse.gov, you research NSPM-7, they tell you what they're doing. It's never been more important to absolutely do everything in your power to lock down your data. Get a DNS, get a VPN, make sure you're limiting what you are sharing. Be careful with your verbiage. Have a secure backup plan with people that you trust. This goes so much deeper. You cannot
have a secure backup plan with people you trust. Listen, this is key information right now, brothers and sisters. This is absolutely key. In this time right now, you want to be as prepared as possible. And what do I mean by prepared? I mean, you got to be careful how you moving. You got to be careful what you do. You got to be careful what you searching. You got to change how you move. Don't become so predictable all the time. Change courses. Maneuver different some time from time, because you are in a surveillance state at this point, and they're trying to do is they're trying to gather information to see how they can incrementally exile people who are a threat. I'm telling you right now, that's what's happening. They're trying to exile people who are a threat. Let's go.
That I have been looking into this for hours. I love you. Drink your water. For you to understand the level of surveillance that is happening.
Yeah, and now, you know, Peter Thiel, he done dipped out. And I think Golden C said it in the chat. He said his job was done, so he left. That's what I'm thinking. He didn't already gave over the information, so he out of here. That's what I'm thinking. Job is complete. Yeah, they clamping down in America. They're trying to, it's really about Satan trying to control everything.
Okay, I had heard rumors about this, but now it's basically fully confirmed. By 2030, they don't want you having pets anymore. And this is the same thing that they did with having children. They made it more and more unaffordable to have children. They're doing the same thing with pets. And behind it is private equity firms and, of course, the hidden hand, which is manipulating pretty much everything in this realm right now. So private equity firms are buying up all the vet clinics, all the pet stores, PetSmart, you name it. And what they're doing is, of course, consolidating all of them together, and then you're the monopoly. And they know people are willing to spend a ton of money on their animal. It's a pretty safe bet if you own all the vet clinics and then you set the procedural protocol to maximize profits. That's where this is going. And there's already mainstream news headlines saying, you know, having a pet is actually pretty bad for the climate because, like, the carbon that it takes to make the shitty ass kibble that they shouldn't be eating anyway. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's transparent what they're trying to do. You need to watch the video, Wall Street's Shocking Plan for America's Pets. I haven't finished it yet, but it's put together a lot of shocking information about what's coming around the corner with pet ownership. And not just in the United States and Canada, but the entire world. Now, I don't have all the answers other than we need to spread awareness about this massively, but I also know for 100% fact they want you in a lowered state of consciousness. That's why they're cranking up the fluoride, the heavy metals, the cell towers, the trails in the sky. And I think it's imperative that we are of sound mind and sound body today by detoxing this crazy stuff out of us and boosting our vitality. And right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, included in people's orders, which is super.
Yep. Somebody said, Juella, thank you for the support. She says, Peter Thiel hit us with a my bad, then bounce. Facts. That's what it seems like. He's like, it's not going to be good. It's going to look like Terminator out there, but I'm out of here. And, you know, even the fact that these people are trying to stop people from having pets, you know, a lot of the veterans, they need these pets. You know, they're trying to control everything. By 2030, they want a society, a dystopian future where you can only eat a certain amount of protein a week. You can only own a certain amount of clothing. You can only travel but so much. You can only use but so much energy and so much gas. That's what they want by 2020, you know, by 2030. That's their plan. Straight up. That's why we have to start developing our own. Get with people, have a backup plan. And this surveillance is getting real, especially in Atlanta, man. Surveillance is real out here.
While the masses are being distracted with every psyop they can think of, this is what is quietly going on in the background. Atlanta is now the most surveilled city in all of America with over 100 cameras that are AI powered per 1,000 residents. These AI powered cameras flag activity in real time and can even deploy robotic units with sensors and monitors to surveil areas like residential areas and complexes like construction sites. Post goes on to say that these technologies are being integrated into a broader network, which is going to connect thousands of public and private cameras to a centralized monitoring system. These AI data centers that are being built all across America are heavily tied to the surveillance that is about to take place. Our tax dollars are going to build this infrastructure. They are also the reason why the United States government is now $39 trillion in debt, and the real reason why the cost of everything is going up, including gas, groceries, electricity, utilities, everything. But all the blame is being focused on the war. It's the same boring ass playbook every single time. While the masses are being distracted with every side.
Yep. And not only do they want these data centers built up, they want to do it out of our tax dollars. And if they can't get it out of our tax dollars, they're talking about getting it out of our bank, you know, our bank accounts or our pensions. This is what they're talking about, man.
So the government is actually currently trying to make it to where they can put you in prison for criticizing Israel. They are going to implement the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, and it is currently being written into U.S. law and internationally. They will be using the U.S. Anti-Semitism Awareness Act and making that mandatory for any federally funded schools. So that will be included as like a discrimination. And then you also have multiple states who are going a little bit further, and they're using that same definition of the IHRA, and then also including like a hate crime sentencing enhancement. So if you speak against Israel, then you can get your charges boosted. You know, on top of that, Australia just passed new legislation making it a criminal offense to also talk bad about Israel in January of this year, 2026. So I don't know. That's just what's going on. So the government is actually currently trying to make it to where they can put you in.
Yeah, you know, America's collapsing. And they're trying to drag us down with them.
Did you guys hear what was just announced with BlackRock yesterday? And this is making many people wonder if we're in black swan territory. If you don't know what a black swan is, it's basically when a financial event happens that tanks the market's unfathomable amounts in like seconds. So for the first time in history, BlackRock is halting withdrawals. $26 billion is blocked. And you may be thinking like, to hell with BlackRock, like good, let them go down. But here's the problem. Yes, BlackRock is, they're taking over everything. But if they crash, so does your local gas station. So does all the companies they own, which is like our world right now. People want to cash out of BlackRock, but they said no. System is cracking, panic is spreading, and liquidity is gone. So investors wanted 9.3% of their money back, and BlackRock fully said no, which entails like they don't have it or something else is going on. I'm sure this is like a controlled burn, part of the new financial system they want to implement, right? Basically, the private credit market is in the tubes right now. But with rising oil, war in the Middle East, AI shaking things up, more and more layoffs because of AI, and rate cuts are off the table. And then one of the world's biggest funds says you can't get your money back. This is a massive red flag. And I'm sure none of it is a coincidence either. Now, I can tell you, with everything going on, BlackRock, global economic situation that's unfolding, very shocking. It has never been more important to be of sound mind and body during this pinnacle moment.
And that's what we are. We have sound mind and body. I just thought I would give y'all an update of what's going on currently. I want to share a couple of scriptures for wisdom in these times. And like I said, I wasn't going to keep y'all too long tonight. I want to thank y'all for even joining. I want to read Matthew 10:16, and it reads, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Listen, right now, as believers, you got to understand, Christ never told us to be naive. He told us to be discerning, observant, and aware. You got to understand, wisdom without righteousness becomes manipulation. And that's what the global elite do. They're wise to certain things, but they're not righteous. So they're gonna do whatever to cause confusion. Proverbs, we read that one. Let me go to Luke 21:36. "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things." Christ always told us to be watchful. Watchful. He always tell us to watch. It says, "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things." Watching means paying attention, spiritually and practically. I'm not saying that every headline matters, but some deserve our attention. When you see Peter Thiel leaving, saying what he's saying, I'm going to pay attention to that. You got Israel and America seeming to merge their militaries. I'm going to pay attention to that. Why? Because the scriptures told me to be watchful. Because when you know what's going on geopolitically, you got to gauge on what's going on prophetically. Isaiah 33:6. "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation." Wow. Notice what brings stability. Notice what brings stability in these times. "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation." It's not money. It's not governments. It's not institutions. It's not people. It's wisdom and knowledge that shall bring stability. It's the most valuable asset in this time. Why? Because we live in uncertain times. It's the most vulnerable asset now. Stability, wisdom, knowledge. It's beautiful. Knowing. 2 Timothy 1:7. "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Understand that fear will cloud your judgment. A sound mind is one of the greatest blessings when you living in chaotic times like this. The goal over here on Nubreed Global Truth is not to make you afraid of the future, but to make you prepare for the future. Discernment and fear is just not the same thing. So we got to adapt. We got to make our own investments. We got to set up our own ecosystem. We got to network with people who have a like mind. We have to begin to play offense. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. Faith without works is dead. If you just sit back and you don't think that you got to get involved in anything, if you just sit back and think that you don't have to be supportive of those who are doing the work, if you just sit back believing that you can be selfish and somehow when things hit the fan, you're going to be all right, you're sadly mistaken. If you're a selfish energy out here, then you're going to be left to your own when everything happens, because things are going to go in a certain direction, and they already are. So action is required. That's what preparation is. Psalms 37:7, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Now, not every situation needs our immediate reaction. You know, sometimes wisdom is enough to make you move accordingly. Ecclesiastes 7:12. For wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. No, let me read that again. For wisdom is a defense and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So what that's telling you, money is a weapon. Money is needed. Money is important, right? But guess what? Wisdom has greater value. There's so many wealthy people out there right now making foolish decisions. A fool with resources is still a fool. You got people out here who think they got a little bit of bread in their pocket, think they doing something, and they still fools. And they don't even know what to do. I'm telling you. I'm going to go to Proverbs 3:21. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul. Thou shalt thou walk in thy day, in thy way safely. Don't let wisdom depart from your eyes. You got to keep sound mind, keep discretion. You're in a time where discretion is not a thing anymore. Everything is all in the open. Everything is monitored. Everything is surveilled. So when this scripture is talking about keep your discretion, it's talking about with all things, you got to unplug from social media sometimes. Sometimes you can't put certain information out there. Some conversations you got to have between just you and the Most High. Not a disembodied chatbot. Not some online counseling session. Not just putting your business out online and using the internet to vent and things like that. Some conversations you got to be discreet between you and the Most High. That's how you keep wisdom and peace in these days. It's really that real. You know, that's how you keep careful decision making. Those are the survival traits in uncertain times. If you look at the Bible, it always, when you read the book of Proverbs, it always connects wisdom to safety. Every time you hear wisdom, you hear safety. There's a reason for that. Wisdom and safety is one, man. It is one. Proverbs 46:1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed. Look, everything is falling apart, man. We got AI, surveillance, wars, economic uncertainty, political turmoil, all of that. But our confidence was never in this governments, never in technologies, never in banks, never in institutions. Our confidence was never in the world, never in people. People, listen, people can come and go out of your life. Understand that. So when your wisdom is in the Most High, knowing that as long as you're doing the right thing and you moving in wisdom, you're gonna have safety. Then you're on the right track. You're on the right track, man. I just wanted to make y'all aware of what's going on. So yeah, there's been some things in the news popping off. I thought I'd touch bases with y'all. Of course, I got more material coming soon. I know it's Saturday night, so y'all be safe out there. You know what I'm saying? Move wise. Do what you gotta do. Have, live your life, enjoy yourself, but move wise out here. Don't have too much fun. Be blessed. Stay away from like large crowded areas and things of that nature. I know it's Saturday night. I didn't really get the same people, because I know people be out and about around this time, but it is what it is. Y'all stay blessed out there, man. As always, it's an honor and a blessing building with y'all. More material coming. Y'all stay safe out there.